SAP is known for producing superior software for the management of business processes. Its VP and Head of Marketing, Gina-Marie Collignon, she joins us now. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Hi, Ramya. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Effective change management is really essential to the success of any organization. What is your approach to change management at SAP?
Oh, that's a very good question indeed. We are all familiar about the fact that change is the only constant in life, right? And whether on a personal or a business perspective, change is inevitable in a VUCA world. It can bring some sort of anxiety or discomfort, but it also brings opportunities. And that's important to mention. As a servant leader, I always put my team, my business stakeholders, my customers at the center of everything. And I'm driven by understanding the why and the meaning. If you understand the purpose of the change, and it helps you understanding the outcomes and how to best influence it. With my team, we built relationships on trust, solid foundations, and then explain the outcome of the change. It's also about empowering them to be ready for change and helping them embarking on a journey that requires to be resilient and adaptable all the time.
As the adage goes, fortune favors the brave. How important is it at SAP to really push boundaries and operate outside of your comfort zone?
Staying in your comfort zone kind of limits your creativity, your development, your upskilling. So in a way, no risk, no reward. So when you go outside your comfort zone, you explore a whole new world, which again can bring some discomfort, anxiety. You can fall, but then stand up and learn from it. And it's like a child in a way, trying again and again. And that brings a great opportunity. And at SAP, as a marketeer and as a leader, I often challenge the culture norm by being really creative, because creativity and out-of-the-box thinking are one of the most important traits for marketing. And this is how we express our passion. Going outside the box, pushing boundaries, thinking differently is very important. That's what I also personally like to do, but I also like to inspire my teams to do, because it's about not only growing your skill set, but also boosting your confidence. And I could maybe share with you something like a motto that I have. It's something that Walt Disney shared. It's first, think. Second, dream. Third, believe. And finally, dare, which is very important.
So tell us how you implement change management and the results that you have seen so far from your endeavors at SAP.
Indeed. So first of all, change management needs to come from a strong and solid strategy from global. And that's what we have at SAP. And then we've got loads of techniques that are very useful and techniques that help in this change management process. They can be surveys, questionnaires, interviews, but as well as design thinking workshops that have demonstrated very successful. We can also have agile techniques that we implement to help and empower our teams. But what I would like to share with you today is maybe common sense, but the most important for me, and based on my experience, is that the most important factor for transformation and change management is that you build everything on trust and openness. When you have solid foundations with your teams, it helps in this process. If it's important to have an active listening, also a lot of empathy, to listen and hear from different perspectives, push boundaries, challenge the status quo, but also communicate effectively and also appreciate, because the journey can sometimes be challenging or bumpy. But in fact, if you communicate properly and if you appreciate and recognize the contribution, it really helps progressing on this journey. Recently, we've been through a transformational journey, and we could measure very positive results and good feedback. We've got internal tools to measure that on the leadership trust scores. But what I can tell you is that, first of all, it empowered the people, it increased the trust and the mutual trust, but also we have more engaged employees and we could retain them. And at the end, we want to retain the best.
Now, the focus on women's representation, inclusion, workplace diversity is now more important than ever at SAP, isn't it?
Diversity and inclusion are very important topics for SAP and as part of our culture and DNA. Inclusion is about, different cultures, genders, religion, perspective, and it's about listening to them and including them in a very inclusive approach. And I'm proud to say that I lead one of the most diverse region in SAP, which is EMEA South, Southern Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So just to give you a little bit of how much it represents, it's 75 countries, 86 nationalities, 7 time zones. So people from across the region that come with their, background, history, perspective, experience, and that makes a great mix. In marketing, we have a great women representation, not only from a team perspective, but also from a leadership perspective. But moreover, in SAP, we have a commitment to have a high number of leaders and in the boardroom, but as well as in the workforce. And what I can mention to you is being also personally from a mixed culture. This is something that helps me understand different perspectives. And look at us living in Dubai, in the most diverse and multicultural city, is a great example of diversity and inclusion. So we feel very lucky and very blessed to be here. Every day is a school day, and no one is like the other when you strive in a diverse and cultural environment like the one we have at SAP. But we always look for meaning and for thriving for excellence and always keeping an open and growth mindset.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.